After reading the case study about Internet use violations, here is my analysis of what I read. Category 1, Problem Identification and Data Analysis. What do I know? First off, Mrs. Walker is a second-year teacher and she teaches 3 rigorous science classes, and with her high expectations, it can be stressful for students. Second thing that I know is Mrs. Walker has been getting multiple complaints from parents and teachers because she does not have a positive rapport with them. Dr. Forbes has provided her suggestions, but she has been unsuccessful at implementing them. This is believed to have led Miss Walker to receiving an anonymous email with a link to a web page that diminishes her character. In addition to that, there is a comment on the web page that states, "Who wants Miss Walker to disappear?" After a moment of reflecting, Mrs. Walker believes that Randy Franks, one of her students, could be the suspect. What do I need to know? The most important thing for me to discover is if Mrs. Walker is in immediate danger. Once I have decided that, I need to find out if our district technologist can assist us in locating the individual or individuals who wrote the email and created the website. If they can locate that information, would they be able to find out if it was designed at school or at home? Finally, do we have a policy in our handbook that could be used as a guideline for this type of situation? So, what is the problem? Well, there are actually 2 problems in this particular case. The first and utmost important problem is the safety of Miss Walker. Since she has received an anonymous email that linked her to a web page that had vulgar and threatening comments, it is the responsibility of the principal to promote the safety of their staff. The second problem is the lack of rapport built between the parents, students, and Miss Walker. Category 2, Proposed Plan of Action with Appropriate Strategies for Implementation. Here are the steps I plan to follow in order to ensure Miss Walker's safety. The first thing I need to do is begin documenting the problem. Since this is a website and it can be removed at any time, I need to print hard copies for evidence. In addition, it is important to record Miss Walker's thoughts on the website. Initially, she had called, worked up over the comment, "Who wants her to disappear?" She thought it was a threat to kill her and was all worried if she needed to call the police. Later, she concluded that Randy Franks, her student, may have started it. To promote the safety of all students and staff, the following morning an additional staff member should be placed in Miss Walker's classroom for the entire day. This additional adult would be available to assist if by chance something is attempted during school hours. The adult would also be there to observe the interaction between Miss Walker and Randy to see that he is treated equally. Finally, it is always in the best interest of the students to have additional support in the classroom. When I get to school, I need to meet with the district technologist to ask his assistance with a few matters. First off, if he had access to the website's URL and the anonymous email, would he be able to determine where they originated from? If so, could the creator be pinpointed? If it had been done on the school network, could the specific time and the individual be determined through the use of computer history and student logons? This could help in determining appropriate punishment, as it would be a violation of school policy. Next, I feel that as a principal, it is extremely important to keep my superior informed of the events happening at my school. So the fourth step would be for me to meet with the superintendent as soon as possible. After informing him of the current situation with Miss Walker and updating him on the steps I've already taken, I would then ask for his guidance and legal advice on the steps I should take to ensure the safety and integrity of all involved. If he did not bring it up, I would ask him to review with me the student handbook policy to see if the policy is substantial enough for this situation. So that Miss Walker knows that I am taking this threat seriously, I would contact the local police department. During my discussion with them, I would let them know that the situation we are having at the school with Miss Walker and the threat that she received. I would then go on to tell them that we are doing an internal investigation, and if something turns up that would require their assistance, I would be getting in contact with them. The main purpose in contacting them, though, is so that they are aware of the situation and they can prepare themselves for an intervention if needed. Here are the steps that should be followed in solving Miss Walker's second problem with building a positive rapport. Before going into a situation, it is always best to know all of the facts, so it is important to go back over and review the notes taken regarding the complaints that have been filed by parents and students regarding Miss Walker. While looking over the notes, it is easiest to filter out lies by looking for consistencies. Once those have been identified, more explanation may be needed. If so, contact the parents or students for further clarification. Next, schedule a meeting with Miss Walker. During that meeting, have an open discussion to see if she has attempted to implement the strategies that Dr. Forbes has suggested. Either way, it is important to get feedback from her on what she feels is and is not working, and why. Then continue by asking if she feels there are other ways that might be beneficial to helping her design a classroom environment that is based on the success of all students. During that meeting, if Miss Walker does not bring it up, offer some advice such as attending some professional development. Before going into the meeting, find a few different professional development opportunities on building a positive student-teacher interaction and encouraging parent-teacher support. Explain that from observation, these are some of the areas that most new teachers struggle with. So by attending the meeting, she will have new strategies to help her present her curriculum to both students and teachers that shows she wants success for all of her students. In addition, provide her several opportunities to go observe other teachers that have built a rapport with their students. This would allow her to see how students act and respond when they respect their teacher. Category 3. Resolve the issue based on promoting the success for all students. In promoting success for all students, as an administrator, I wanted to make sure that Miss Walker felt secure, but I wanted to do it in a way that it did not disrupt the learning environment. Therefore, I chose not to question the students and the other staff before doing my own investigation. Yes, I would still like to know what individual or individuals were responsible for the email, website, and comments made online. However, I would prefer to use our technology resources first before questioning students and staff. If my research did not pull results in a resolution, I would consider questioning Randy and other students, but I would do it in a way that they did not feel they were being accused. Category 4. Debriefing the problem by reflecting on what you were thinking, feeling, and valuing by identifying issues that are unresolved or open for further investigation. What was I thinking? At the beginning, I thought the individual that sent the anonymous email wanted Miss Walker to be aware of the website because they did not agree with what was being said. They may have also been looking out for her safety. When Miss Walker frantically called Dr. Forbes stating that someone wanted to kill her, my thoughts were that no one actually stated they wanted to kill her. Maybe they just wanted her to move away. This is just an assumption though, as I don't know everything that was mentioned on the website. I did like the way that Dr. Forbes handled the initial phone call from Mrs. Walker, especially how calmly he requested the URL to the website for his viewing and did not rush to any conclusion without facts to back up his rationale. What was I feeling? I was devastated to read that Dr. Forbes stated that the website was only a prank. As an administrator, every threat should be taken seriously, and then they should take appropriate steps to rectify the situation. Secondly, I cannot believe the teacher immediately put the blame of this website on one student. This saddened me because it should have been evident that there were multiple people expressing their thoughts and opinions. Lastly, it made me feel concerned. There had to be something serious that had happened in the classroom that caused this outbreak. So, from an administrator's view, this needs to be determined and solved. I showed that I was placing high values on the success of students and the relationships between students, teachers, and parents. This was shown by providing professional development opportunities for Miss Walker. Open communication was another important concept that was shown throughout my analysis. I kept my superiors in the local police department informed and involved during the investigation. What issues are still open for investigation? The thing that I still need to know is who sent the email and created the website. More importantly, though, was it created by parents or students? By knowing the answer to this question, it would help me in guiding the resolution to the problem and addressing any misunderstandings there may be. The second item still under investigation is whether or not Mrs. Walker will press charges against the individual for threatening her. This is a serious crime that could result in a lawsuit. Lastly, will Miss Walker learn from this situation and her professional development opportunities? Will she find ways to build a working relationship with her students and parents? Category 5. Reflecting on Standard 5 by providing evidence that you, as a building level administrator, promote the success of all students by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. I demonstrated the sense of integrity when I designed a plan that would discover the creator of the website without disrupting the learning environment of students. Although this was done secretly, it was designed around the basis of maintaining the safety of all students and staff. This is also showed that I was being ethical as I contacted my superiors for advice, notified the police of the threat, and did it while maintaining a hectic-free school and building and environment. I acted fairly as I used information from my research to guide my investigation instead of jumping to a hasty conclusion and accusing a student of this horrible act. When it came to helping Miss Walker solve her problem with a lack of rapport, I got input from all people involved. By doing this, it helped me determine areas where she was struggling with and ways that I could help her become a better teacher. As an administrator, I demonstrated personal and professional code of ethics by following appropriate steps to investigate the situation instead of jumping to conclusions. I also worked with Miss Walker to find ways to improve her student-teacher relationships.